Hi everybody, this is Mrs. Mancina. Just wanted to say hi and good afternoon or good morning or good evening whenever you are watching this video. In today's session, we are going to just be going through some tips for writing a literary analysis essay. The very first tip that I'd like to give you is try to use third person for this essay. Don't use the words you or I. You also want to try to keep personal expressions out of it. So don't say things like I believe or I think or in my opinion. You can go ahead and take out all of those personal expressions but leave the rest of your sentence. That will make your analysis a much stronger. Also, make sure that you are discussing the poem in the present tense. Present tense. We all know that these poems were written in the past, but we want to make sure that it's present tense. So, for example, in Do Not Go Gentle Into the Good Night, Dylan Thomas shows us that we should fight death. So, shows is present tense, whereas showed would be past tense, and that's not what we want to be writing in. So, make sure you're writing in the present tense. Also want to try to cite all of your quotations correctly. First of all, always write the exact words of a poem. Make sure you put quotation marks around those quotes so we know that they are coming directly off of your poem. And you need to include the line numbers, either in parentheses or within your text. So here's an example for how you would do this in parentheses. So in the 5th stanza, Thomas also uses an oxymoron, blinding sight, in describing the revelation some men make as they are dying. That's from line 13. So you'll see I have the number 13 in parentheses and the period at the very end of the sentence here. All right, you don't put the period after the last word, you put it all the way at the end. Or you could go ahead and cite it within your sentence. You could say in line 1, do not go gentle into that good night represents death. Night represents death. So I've got line 1 stated within my sentence, and that's perfectly okay to do also. You also want to try to use transitional words and phrases within your writing. So I've got a list going here. You can go ahead and pause this video if you would like and to jot some of these down. You're probably going to use these in between at the beginning of each body paragraph, so in between paragraphs, but you might also use some of these within your body paragraph to maybe transition between one idea to a next within the body paragraphs. You also want to try to use appropriate verbs to explain your interpretation. So try to use some of these words: suggest, support, and describe. And there's several others, but all of these lead to strength in your interpretation. Okay, so those are really great verbs to go ahead and use. And here's an example. Using this oxymoron describes the irony of how we can see so clearly at death what should have been apparent for our entire lives. So I went ahead and just try to put that word describe in there. So you might want to try to jot those down and try to use them at least once a paragraph maybe. That might be a good way to make sure that they're all in there. Finally, we've gone over this several times, but you want to make sure that you use literary terms. So words such as speaker, tone, symbol, remember metaphor, imagery, all of those poetic devices really help your reader see what specific literary elements contribute to the theme of your poem. Okay, so here's an example. Thomas uses another oxymoron, fierce tears, and again the tone of the final stanza is passionate and angry, but now it is also sad. So I actually have two in there, oxymoron and tone. So you want to take those notes that you had made from jotted down with all the literary devices that were used and go ahead and put those into your essay. So I hope that this was helpful in getting some ideas for your literary analysis essay. What we're going to be doing in class for our last session is just going to give you time to talk with me and go through anything that you might need help with in actually writing and drafting your literary analysis essay. So can't wait to see you in class. Hope everybody has a great day.